Sometimes I think about jokes that are basically limited to the academic population. I hear this notion of trickle-down economics. Well, you can think about, the ideas, the supply-side ideas put together during the Reagan administration, or you can think about my version of it here, unfortunately timed given that there's a lot of interviews for jobs being had, so I'm really sorry. That when I think about the real trickle-down economics, think about what happens with grad school versus where you get your first faculty job, your tenure job, etc. And I like to call that the trickle-down of economists. You can see I have a little bit of a graphical representation here. Sorry, I said I was sorry. I wish you all the best of luck. Sometimes academic economists are humorous without even trying. This is an abstract from an actual academic paper, and it was posted to NPR's Planet Money blog with the headline, "Translate, please." So you have a bunch of very smart people trained in economics that said, we can't make sense of this. Can you please make sense of this? And they had a little contest, and I like winning things, so I actually took this very seriously and said, okay, I'll sit down, I'll research what's actually going on here, and I will write my own summary. I'm not expecting you to read this. I do find it funny that my economics to English translation had more words than the original. I spent a good 30 minutes doing this. And then as soon as I posted my comment, I realized that I could never win because I'd been beaten by the response that was posted right before mine. We spent our entire research grant on reading a thesaurus. I can't beat that. I just can't. Again, I said I like sports, but I'm always thinking about economics. So we had the real trickle-down economics. I'll call this the real economics of sports trades. So here we have Manny Ramirez merchandise at 50% off, all sales final, no further discounts apply. Now this is funny to me because I'm pretty sure that the same restrictions were on the deal to trade Manny himself to the LA Dodgers. Now this wasn't really meant to be an economics related picture. I just saw a giant bottle of inflatable Jack Daniels and wanted to hug it. I don't know. But like I said, economics is everywhere. So I put this picture up and someone says, oh, I see you are studying economies of scale again. So, I like it. All right, there's a lesson to be had. Even better, someone said, get a giant bottle of Coke and then you have economies of scope as well. I really, really wanted to do that, but instead I just went and got drunk. Last but not least, we have my personal favorite. Personal favorite, not only because there's an important lesson to be had here, but because it took me a really long time to get the joke. So, we hear about instrumental variables all the time. We hear about policy analysis trying to establish causation. So we understand that correlation and causation aren't the same thing. Well, or at least we don't understand that. We take an econometrics class, then we understand it. Therefore, the econometrics class was helpful. I don't know. But thank you very much for your time.